join me in welcoming the most fabulous supervillain on the internet himself, Milo Yiannopoulos.
In case he gets tired.
This is dangerous. Open up your head, feel the show.
Bad sources, because you come here and you're sort of under your breath almost, not as loudly as you said anything else, but under your breath you sort of said, oh, white supremacy, blah, blah, blah. You kind of wanted to get it under the radar, you wanted to say it without me having an opportunity to dispute it. Fuck you. How fucking dare you call me a white supremacist? Why don't you come back and ask me a question? Why don't you come back? No!
No, I'm talking about culture, not race, and it's typical of someone like Jesus to try to conflate the two. Because what they want to do, what they want to do is to suggest that if you're proud of your country and the ideals in which your country was founded, that somehow makes you a racist. It doesn't. I'm not talking about skin colour. I don't care about skin colour. All my boyfriends are black. I don't give a toss about skin colour. What I do care about is values and ideas. And the regressive social attitudes of Muslims in the West are terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And organisations like yours won't support them, honestly, accurately or fairly. It's left to other places to do it. And then what you do, once you fail to report them accurately, is accuse people who are concerned with some justification about the changing nature of their culture, not race, in their countries, is you then accuse them of being white nationalists. That's pretty disgusting.
These socially regressive attitudes of Muslims in the West are horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. The surveys show that 52% of British Muslims think that my sex life should be made illegal. Why are you leaving? Why are you leaving? Don't you want to talk about numbers? Are you embarrassed? Are you embarrassed? Are you embarrassed of the hateful culture that surrounds your religion, that oppresses women and murders homosexuals and commits unspeakable acts of terrorism? Are you ashamed of it? Would you like to talk to us about why there's no global Muslim peace movement? Because I hear lots of very upset people at my talks complaining about statistics they can't refute. I don't hear a lot of Muslims standing up against terrorism.
No Trump! No KKK! No fascist USA! No Trump!
Everywhere there is Islam, you will find women oppressed. Everywhere there is Islam, you will find... You're wearing a hijab in the United States of America. What is wrong with you?
This is dangerous. Open up your head, feel the show shot.
Anyway, such idiots. Such idiots.
We have to teach young boys not to be boys so they won't be violent.
Why is being violent being...
Get out! Get out!
All of the traditional imbalances between men and women have flipped, and very recently. And when young men... May I be allowed to finish? Sorry, I'm talking about men. When...
And you call darling? And now you think it's funny. Well, this is exactly the problem.
We heard...
Institutional sexism, and you're just sitting here doing it flagrantly and without even apologising.
Well, we just heard that it was an essential characteristic of men that they were violent a minute ago. So I guess
That's exactly what he said.
my point is...
I'm getting out of here. If anyone in the audience wants to say something, please feel free to put up your hand, and I'll bring you in at this stage. And just for the sake of diplomacy, let me take it to...
But here's the idiocy of the progressive left. They chucked this water. They ran away. But they paid by credit card. So I wandered over to the table they'd been at. And it turns out that in some of the nicer bars, when you pay by credit card, your name comes up on the bill. And there indeed it was. So this one brave, intrepid doxer on the internet has indeed found out not just everything about them and where they live, but also family photos. There's her pin. And if that wasn't enough, tax returns. Photos of her on Twitter saying the only good cops are dead cops. And, most beautifully, images of her selling nudes.
Madam, I'm grateful to you for coming, but to be quite honest with you, fuck your feelings.
I published a column, How to Beat Me. I wrote it down. I literally gave them an instruction book, but they're so fucking self-involved and stupid and lazy, they don't read it and they don't listen. If you don't like something I say about Black Lives Matter, as it seemed this crazy Harrison didn't, if you don't like something that I say about feminism, come to me with facts, with reason, with logic.
Surname, Sarsour. Did you know this? It means cockroach in Arabic. And I do so hate to be disrespectful, so we'll call her Linda.
Just as importantly, wait your fucking turn.
The negative of what
I'm not going to slap you.
Muslims like me that keep saying that's wrong.
I don't use violence.
Muslims like me that keep saying this is wrong, and then you keep hearing someone say, oh well, no, it's bad, and you're all murderers, and you're whatnot, and this is what your Quran says. How many? Hang on a second. How many times? 1 second, please.
Do you pray 5 times a day?
Yes. Well, I try to do my best. I'm not the best.
How many times a day do you pray?
5 times a day, but I'm not the best.
You pray 5 times a day?
I'm not the best. I'm Hesidic. I made that
When's your
clear.
next birthday?
Listen,
What time?
I won't have time until I get home.
So you're not praying 5 times
I'm not
today?
going to.
Will you pray 5 times tomorrow?
I do my best.
Do you do the mass on
I
Friday?
do my best. Let me
Do you
finish
go
my
to the mass
question.
on Friday?
Let me finish my question.
Do you go to the mass on Friday?
No, I do not. I don't follow a preacher.
So-
I don't follow an imam. Okay? I don't want, because I don't want to get confused.
Now, you may have noticed that I'm wearing something a little bit different this evening, and that's for 2 reasons. One, I've come dressed soberly this evening because I normally, look, I like my sequins, I like everything, but today there's just no point. And the second thing that you may have noticed is this. This is called a Pavlok device. It's a shock bracelet, and I'll tell you why I'm wearing it. You've spoken, and we've listened. One of the things that sometimes comes in over the wires, the feedback to this show is, and I don't know who's saying this, but apparently I have a habit of talking a bit too much during interviews. Some people say, but nobody in here, of course, would agree with any of this. I'm sure this is all a bizarre complaint as far as you're concerned, but it has been mentioned, mainly by my producers, I have a habit of talking for a really long time, never getting to the point of the question, and never allowing my interviewee, that the audience really wants to hear from, say more than before I'm off on the next 6-minute long question. People have speculated that this is because I love the sound of my own voice and think that I have much more interesting things to say than any of my guests. There has been put to me, well, why then are they here? Good question. My response was, I could just talk, but apparently on a Friday night people do want to hear me in conversation with interlocutors, and therefore I've been persuaded to wear this shock bracelet. This is a Pavlok device. Now this is normally used to control people's bad habits. If you eat too much or bite your nails, people can train themselves out of it by sending themselves an electric shock, a little bit like a dog's shock collar. I've given Chadwick power over this shock device this evening, so if I run too long in my questions or don't pay adequate attention to my guests' opinions, don't give them enough time to answer, I'm going to be lightly, mildly shocked, and those shocks will grow in intensity through the duration of the show if I don't mend my wicked ways. So you can look forward to that later in the show. Chadwick, in describing to me why we were going to implement this new policy,
Stop it. I told you, don't misuse it. Pavlovian training doesn't work if you use the shock at the wrong time. Now, Chadwick put it very gently. He said to me, the reason that you have to wear this if I'm going to continue to work on the show is that you are, quote, an obnoxious, sad, fat, blubbering, blabbering, has-been, attention-hungry, desperate, fake Christian, drug-addled, potentially fascistic whore who will burn in hell not only for being gay married but for having no soul and talking over your guests every single episode. All 30 people who watch your show are sick and tired of you talking over them, so I'm going to shock your lard ass every time you need to shut the fuck up and be an actual interviewer. Well, viewers, Chadwick's spoken and I've listened. So that's our new thing. If you do feel that there should be a shock administered and you don't see one, you can of course contact Chadwick. I'll be giving out his phone number later in the episode.